Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the show that goes beyond the headlines, looking at how global figures achieve what they do. Today, we're tackling a giant of modern sport, Cristiano Ronaldo. His name, well, it's basically synonymous with relentless competition.
It really is. He's one of those figures where even if you don't follow football, you know the name. He's just a phenomenon.
Exactly. And that's our mission today, to sort of unpack that phenomenon. We want to go past the goals, past the trophies, and look at the journey. You know, from this kid in Madeira with an obsession through all the challenges, the rivalries, and that incredible mindset that kept him at the very top for so long. So let's start right at the beginning. Who was Cristiano before the world knew his name?
Okay, so Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro, born February 5th, 1985, in Funchal, Madeira. It's a small Portuguese island. And he came from a working-class background. His dad, José de Nassr, was a gardener, also a kit man for a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, she was a cook, a cleaner. They didn't have a lot materially. But from day one, pretty much his life was about football. An obsession, really. I mean, the stories are amazing. Kicking anything, balls, plastic bottles, even fruit, apparently, just constantly playing out in the streets till all hours. And apparently he'd cry if his team lost, really intense, even as a little kid. By 8, he's at Andorinha, the club where his dad worked. And even then, people notice. The speed, the skill, yeah, but also just this drive, this determination, it was already there. Then comes the really big moment. He's 12, Sporting CP, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, famous for its academy, the one that produced Figo.
Right, a legendary academy.
Exactly. They scout him, offer him place in Lisbon. Think about that, 12 years old, leaving his family, his homesickness, kids making fun of his accent, the Madeiran accent, was seen as, well, a bit provincial, maybe poor. He even said sometimes he didn't have enough to eat. But that experience, that hardship, it forged something in him. Resilience, self-reliance, an absolute focus.
It really sounds like he was just wired differently, even back then. Did people who coached him or knew him then, did they see something beyond just talent? Was there this intensity?
Oh, absolutely. That's the consistent theme. Yeah. Coaches always said his drive was just off the charts. Training finishes. He's still out there. Hours later, practicing free kicks over and over, working on his step overs, doing sprints. It wasn't just loving the game. It was like a methodical need to be the best, even then.
Okay, so he has this immense drive, this talent. How does he make the jump at Sporting? From academy kid to, first team player?
It happened fast, really fast.
Yeah.
By 16, he's already training with the first team. And apparently he wasn't shy. He had this confidence, the speed, the technical ability. He wasn't intimidated by the senior players at all. Made a pro debut in 2002. Only played one full senior season there, really. But that was enough because then came that friendly. August 2003, Sporting versus Manchester United. And he just destroyed them, ran riot down the wing, step overs, pace, crossing. United's defenders just couldn't handle him. The story, and it's pretty well documented, is that United players like Gary Neville and Rio Ferdinand went to Sir Alex Ferguson at halftime, basically saying, you have to sign this kid.
Wow, the players themselves.
Yeah, and weeks later, bang.
Yeah.
Manchester United signed him, $12.24 million, first Portuguese player ever for United. Suddenly the whole world starts paying attention.
Moving to Manchester United at 18. That's a huge leap. New country, new language, the Premier League, which is notoriously physical. How did he cope? And what was Ferguson's role in shaping him?
Oh, it was massive, a huge adjustment. He was pretty skinny then, didn't speak much English. And Sir Alex Ferguson, well, his influence was just immense. He became like a father figure, guided him not just tactically, but instilled that discipline, the work ethic, the mental toughness you absolutely need in England.
I remember early on there was some criticism, right? Too much flash, maybe not enough end product.
Yeah, initially. Some teammates thought, too many step overs just for show. But Ferguson helped him channel it, blend the flair with, effectiveness, ruthlessness even. And then it just clicked, exploded. 2006-07, he gets 23 goals. The next season, 07-08, 42 goals. Just incredible numbers. Leading United to Premier League titles, FA Cup, and crucially the Champions League in 2008.
And his first Ballon d'Or that year, too?
Exactly. That 2008 Ballon d'Or kind of announced him as the best player in the world at that moment. He'd physically transformed, too, got stronger, much better in the air, became this complete forward.
So he conquers England. And for a player with that level of ambition, you kind of felt what might be next. Was the move to Spain inevitable?
It felt like it, didn't it? The trajectory was just pointing that way. And in 2009, Real Madrid came calling. World record fee at the time, $80 million. And that move, that took his career to a whole different stratosphere.
Right. Real Madrid, 9 years. The stats from that time are just Well, they're almost unbelievable.
They really are. I mean, get this, 450 goals in 438 games.
More goals than games played. It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane. And look at the success. 4 Champions League titles with Madrid, 2 La Liga titles, and individually, 4 more Ballon d'Ors. Just staggering dominance.
And of course, that period is defined by the rivalry, Ronaldo versus Messi. El Clasico became this global spectacle.
Yeah.
How did that dynamic, that pressure shape him?
Oh, hugely. Every single match between Real Madrid and Barcelona, especially El Clasico, it felt like the whole world stopped to watch. It was Messi versus Ronaldo. And Ronaldo seemed to thrive on that. He loved the big stage, the pressure moments, finals, decisive lead games. That's when he often produced something special. He lived for it.
Do you think that direct competition with Messi, this genius-level player, actually pushed Ronaldo to become even better?
Without a doubt. And both have sort of hinted at that over the years. They're very different players, obviously. Messi, the sort of artist, the dribbler, the playmaker. Ronaldo, more about raw power, speed, athleticism, that clinical finishing ability from anywhere. But they pushed each other constantly. If Messi set a new goal record, you just knew Ronaldo would be aiming to break it. It was this incredible decade-long battle for supremacy. It kept driving both of them.
Then in 2018, he makes another big move, maybe a slightly surprising one, to Juventus. He's in his mid-30s. Serie A is known for being tactical, maybe more defensive. Why Italy? And how did he adapt again?
I think it was genuinely about a new challenge, proving himself in another top league, one with a different style. Serie A does demand tactical intelligence, maybe less space than La Liga, but he adapted almost instantly. Became the fastest player to score 50 goals in Juventus history, won 2 Serie A titles there. It really proved that for him, age was less of a barrier, because his game had evolved beyond just pure pace, his movement, his finishing. They were still world class.
And then the return, Manchester United 2021, that felt like a huge emotional homecoming.
It really did. The excitement from the fans was incredible, you remember. And he started brilliantly, scored twice in his second debut.
Yeah, the buzz was massive.
But United, as a club, were in a difficult phase. A lot of transition, instability.
Yeah.
So the results were mixed during that second spell. And then late 2022, another big shift, Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. That move raised a few eyebrows, didn't it?
It did.
But for him, you could see the logic perhaps. It wasn't just about football. It was a new cultural experience, a chance to be a major ambassador for the sport in a region pouring resources into it, a different kind of challenge.
Let's talk about the work ethic, because the stories are legendary. First in, last out. Is that really true? What's behind that incredible physical longevity?
Oh, the stories are absolutely true. Teammates from every club say the same thing. His dedication is just phenomenal. First one at the training ground, often the last one to leave. But it's more than just hours. It's the detail. His approach to diet, to recovery sleep, using the latest science, it's meticulous, almost obsessive. You hear stories about ice baths at crazy hours, specific meal plans. But the core of it is this incredible discipline. Even well into his 30s, his physical stats, body fat percentage were like someone in their early 20s. He lived by that quote, didn't he? Talent without work is nothing. He didn't just say it, he embodied it every single day. It was intelligent work too, constantly adapting his training.
And beyond the individual drive, what about off the pitch? His leadership, his charity work, we hear less about that sometimes?
Well, his leadership is mostly by example, I'd say. Setting incredibly high standards for himself, which naturally pushes teammates. He just refuses to accept anything less than maximum effort. Off the pitch, yeah, he's actually involved in a lot of charity work, often quite quietly. Donating significant sums to hospitals, funding treatments for children, disaster relief. He famously doesn't have tattoos, so he can donate blood regularly. It's a side maybe not everyone sees, but it's definitely there.
So, thinking about his entire career, all the goals, the records, the moves, what do you think his ultimate legacy will be? What makes him stand out, even among the greats?
Well, he's undeniably one of the greatest ever. That's sealed. The goals, the trophies, the sheer longevity.
Yeah.
It's staggering. But I think maybe more profoundly, his legacy is about mentality. He showed everyone what is possible with relentless work, absolute self-belief, and this incredible resilience. Reaching the top is one thing. Staying there for almost 2 decades, constantly adapting, constantly driving yourself. That's maybe his biggest achievement.
Right.
He redefined what sustained excellence looks like.
It's been fascinating tracing that journey from, like you said, that determined kid in Madeira kicking bottles to this global icon who just kept pushing the boundaries.
Absolutely. And if you step back, his story is maybe proof, isn't it? Talent gets you in the door, sure.
Yeah.
But it's the hard work, the dedication, the character. That's what keeps you there. It's as much about who he is as what he did on the pitch.
Well put. A huge thank you for joining us on this deep dive today. And to you, listening, thanks for being with us. Maybe Ronaldo's story makes you think a little about what chasing greatness could mean for you. Until next time, keep exploring.